I know every man have his same reward. Pussy them free now, shoot out again. 6ixBoss blood shoot out ahead. Rich me left a mash up on road floor. Pussy wall them must take coke. Dope, them must start it out like this. Me no see the 6 and I go see me all about. Me no friend in a joke. Heard that day now over. Drop the Benz, drop the Bentley, drop the Range Rover. 31 in a the clip ready for bite them like Roma chase eyes. What's it happy? Drug dealer, so she love me nice t-shirt. Blue skinny jeans, man. Every girl I want, but that she ain't body jar. I want a 6 million jar.
Alright, this is a dancehall affair. Welcome back to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It is your host with the most. We have to talk about Squash, dancehall artist Squash. We know the bag of troubles with Squash in the United States of America and everything, but Squash is also doing some great things as far as music and entertainment is concerned, okay? So album is already submitted, but we're going to get into the music side of things after we put everybody on the same page about the legal side of things, how the law working and what is likely to happen in Squash case sometime soon. So if you've never been here before, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Welcome back to the channel for those who come here all the time, come chillax and tequila vibes and them kind of thing there. Alright, let's get right into the topic, right? So, dancehall artist Squash, whose real name is Andre Maurice Whitaker, he is scheduled to be sentenced in the United States of America federal courts in the state of Florida on November 24th of 2025. I saw earlier where somebody posted a video saying Squash gets sentenced already. We don't even hear nothing from the courts because he was supposed to be sentenced sometime in October 1st. I believe it was the 16th of October was the first, or the 6th of October was the first court date for his sentencing. That obviously got changed. Today I'm doing this video is the 14th of October, which means that day had gone already and he wasn't sentenced. They did put out official update that his sentencing would take place November 24th of 2025 after he had pled guilty to the firearms charge. That plea deal resulted in a more serious charge being dropped against him. Now, we know a lot of people were saying, no way him get that the charge they dropped against him. You don't get caught with a chipped Glock. For those of you who don't know what a chipped Glock is a gun that has been modified to go from semi-automatic to fully automatic by the use of putting some kind of a device on that gun. A lot of people rap about it. It's used in a lot of street shootouts and gang warfares and murders because obviously it can race out a whole clip in like a second on you, as opposed to having to pull the trigger every single time you want a bullet to fire. Pull the trigger and hold it down. I can get 15, 20, 30 bullets sending in your direction. So it's a pretty dangerous way to modify a gun, which it is not legal in any state in the United States of America. It is illegal in all states. And as we know, Squash was caught with one. So pleading guilty allowed them to drop that charge against him. And the charge that stood was just him being in possession of a firearm while not having the proper status in the country. Again, a lot of people said, but he's in the state of Florida. He should be all right because Florida is an open carry state now, which means you can literally sling an AR-15 across your back or your front and walk down the street with it, and police won't say nothing to you because that's what is the latest move in the state of Florida now. And also, everybody can have a gun because before they did the open carry, the mayor or governor of Florida actually wrote into law that in the state of Florida, you don't need a permit to carry a concealed weapon anymore. Right. But there are other laws that affect somebody like Squash because the law still stands that you have to be a permanent resident or you have to be a citizen in order to possess a weapon here. And he was neither of the above. Remember, I know him have him little immigration thing a go on. Him get married and paperwork a sort out and his case is before the courts and he's been given a date and he was waiting for his date to be called, for his case to be worked out, so on and so forth. So he never really get a status yet. He was just hanging in limbo really, which I said earlier in other videos, chaman, if him did just chill, you know, and just boy me that just lock in at the house and wait until everything clear and then brawling out a road. But couldn't do that, and now this is the situation he finds himself in. So details from that case and the plea deal. The incident, the charge stemmed from a traffic stop in Miami in February of 2025 where the police found a loaded Glock 19 in the glove compartment and they found a second weapon in the car as well. Authorities had been monitoring Squash and suspecting him of having ties to a transnational gang. Now remember, I know transnational gangs have been deemed to be terrorist organizations by Donald Trump. So if you are found to be the leader of a transnational gang, which is what they published that they suspected Squash to be, we thought he was going to be charged with that in court as well. People all start talk about, yo, the G might get sent go El Salvador to blouse and skirt or to Eswatini or somewhere where they are deporting people to that people have never been and have no connections to. Well, never work out like that, because as serious as that sound, that was not one of his charges. They just put that out there in the air, which I thought, sloppy and very weird. Because why would the feds publish to the public that they see you as the leader of a transnational gang, but then go to court and they never charge you with it? Interesting. Well, federal prosecutors actually charged Squash with being an illegal alien in possession of a firearm and an unlawful possession of a machine gun, which was the modified Glock, otherwise called the chip Glock. In the plea agreement, which went down in September of 2025 now, Squash agreed to plead guilty. So he pleaded guilty to being an illegal alien in possession of a firearm, and the charge for unlawful possession of an automatic weapon was dropped. That's a sweet deal. Looking into how he could have scored this type of deal with the feds, you don't have to tell them nothing really. In cases like these, it is typical for them to actually say, listen, this is it. We don't want to pursue and use money for lawyers and fight you in court, because obviously Squash has multiple lawyers and he's going to fight. So if I'm going to fight, the state have to go fight back. And if the state fight back, the state could use a lot of money, resources, time, all that. So they try to save themselves that. Okay, take this deal, but know that this comes with it as well. What is this that comes with it? Deportation or something else? We don't know. Now you have to remember, we don't know the inner workings of this deal either. I'm just going off what we were able to get so far. So you can leave your comments in the comment section below. Me not argue with it, I'll just read. In the plea agreement that went down in September, it says he would plead guilty, which he did, and they would drop the machine gun charge, but charge him for a lesser charge. The prosecutors now, their recommendation as part of Squash plea deal, prosecutors will recommend a reduced sentence because he pleaded guilty to 24 to 63 months. So they are looking at 2 to 5 years in prison is what the prosecutor is going to recommend to the judge. Now, usually the judge listens to the prosecution. Not all the time though. If you take, for instance, recently P. Diddy went to trial. The prosecution said, give him 11 and a half years, judge. The judge said, That is way too much time. That would not be fair. However, I'm going to give him half of that. The judge gave him 5. Now from the 5, he was able to subtract first time offender, take off 1 year. Good behavior, take off 1 year. They have some classes that you can do in there, like behavioral counseling for your rehabilitation or whatever, take off 1 year. The state also requires, the feds also requires you serve 85% of your sentence, not 100%. So that came out to Diddy having to do probably like a couple of months, considering that he already served 13 months. So by the time Squash is sentenced, they will do the same thing. They will take off this, that, the other, and from that max that he is sentenced to, we will see where that lies. I don't know. The judge can also go above and beyond what the prosecutors are recommending and go way past 5 years and try to make an example out of him. He's not in the clear. We don't know what's going to happen yet. We have to wait until his sentencing, and his sentencing date again is November 24th, which is not that far away. Also, he was also hit with penalties. So the judge is not bound by the plea deal. And the judge can still impose whatever the judge wants to impose, plus a maximum penalty of about 15 years in prison, 3 years of supervised release, and a $250,000 fine. I always wonder how them work out the supervised release and the fine. Because if you're going to deport me back to Jamaica, how are you going to get your $250,000? And if you're going to deport me, how are you going to supervise me for 3 years after my release? So again, we will see how this thing works out as far as Squash goes. Deportation. A lot of people want to hear this part, especially the people who are praying for this brother to be deported. You know them have it to say, him life I got rough when him reach back to Jamaica. The police them down here wait pan him. Gunman down here wait pan him. Let me make this very clear. I, SouFlo, don't know about any of that. Okay? And I don't claim to know about any of that. Point blank, period. With that, what it says is, as a part of his plea deal, Squash acknowledges that the conviction is a deportable offense. The judge asks him, are you aware, Mr. Whitaker, that your offense is a deportable offense and that you will most likely face removal proceedings from the United States of America after your sentence is completed? To which he said, yes, Your Honor. What that mean? The judge simply said, you know, so you can get deported for this way you just do, right? And him say, yes, Your Honor. The judge said, so most likely after you're done do your time, them are going to deport you. You aware of that? And him say, yes, Your Honor. Y'all take that and do with it as you will. All right. Background, ICE custody. Squash was already in custody of U.S. Immigrations and Customs Enforcement after being arrested for immigration violations back in 2023. That's the first time everybody started jumping up and like, yo, them are gonna dip him. Them catch him. ICE catch him. And then he didn't get dipped. And people were like, hold on there. Something funny a gone. Apparently, he got married while in custody, and that allowed him to file for an adjustment of status, and he was released on immigration probation. That's when them tell you, say, come check in every month at this address, that address. So, pull a fast one there, so, and it worked, right? Now, according to his alleged gang ties, federal prosecutors have alleged that Squash is actually the leader of the G-City gang, which operates in St. James, Jamaica, and Florida, and they had intended to use his song lyrics and his videos as evidence in his trial. Well, we don't have to worry about that because no trial will be happening. That was the deal. The deal was you either plead guilty or we go to trial starting the next day. They basically had too much evidence, I would say, and he did the smart thing and pled guilty and took the deal. Well, the local charges were dismissed. State level charges against Squash were dropped in June of 2025 after federal authorities took over the case. So, with that said, you know enough about that. Now, let's finish this up with the musical part of things now. Like I said before, Squash is releasing some very great music at this time, and it's funny that he's releasing such great music in these times of great trouble. The EP came out that I told everybody about. It's called I Hate Being Famous, right? And that dropped right when he got locked up. And right now, before his sentencing, he releases an album that's called Fame, Fame, like fame, like famous. Yeah, and Fame on the album cover actually says faith, always, move, everything, like an acronym kind of thing. Now I'm over here checking out the videos and stuff on his YouTube, and the numbers that he's doing is pretty crazy. You know, him still a knockoff like millions of views per month. His YouTube itself is about to hit 1 million subscribers. Right now as I'm doing this video, I think it sits at 969,000 subscribers. Crazy, right? Go check it out. And videos like Squash, Code Lank, Eyes Open, and notice the use of AI and artwork. The AI is used even more prominently in a video called Journey. If you listen to the EP that I told you about called Hate Being Famous, Journey is one of the leading tracks on that EP. Now Journey get an official video. But you would ask, how was he able to get a video for Journey when he was locked up before all that could come to fruition? Well, thank God for AI. If you watch Journey, I think this is the best AI I have ever seen done in our genre of music. Good work. Because a lot of it actually looks realistic, right? And Journey right now, as it sits, was released 3 weeks ago. Obviously, while he was behind bars. And it is already creeping up to 1 million views. It's like 600 and something thousand views in 3 weeks. So you can imagine, so probably in another 3 weeks, it'll probably hit 1 million views already, right? Which is the average for a lot of his music. In a month time, they clear 1 million views. The momentum is great. It's not slowing down. 6 months ago, he dropped You Know About That. And that, You Know About That, that is almost at 10 million views already. So that's to give you an idea of how he's flipping these numbers still on YouTube. My advice is, while the troubles are going, this is a great medium and a great tool to use. So keep the AI videos coming. Whoever did Journey video, keep working with that individual right there and give every song on the EP Hate Being Famous and every song on Fame a video of its own. Obviously, it looked like Squash are gonna do some time behind bars. We don't know how much time that is. We'll just have to wait and see. Leave your comments in the comment section below. I'll catch you on the next video. It's SouFLoTV. I'm out. Peace.